To Kansas, Oklahoma, Kansas.
The LA Lakers and the Vancouver Grizzlies from GM Place. The Grizzlies coming off a loss to Toronto on Sunday afternoon, and the Lakers playing their third game in as many days, and they lost the first two. So the Lakers aren't in much of a mood here after losing in both Seattle and Denver. Look at the starting lineups of the Lakers with as much talent as anybody in the league, led by Shaquille O'Neal, leading the league in scoring. Kobe Bryant having a breakout season. This is his third year in the NBA. He's only 20. Becoming a superstar in a hurry. In the backcourt, Derek Harper in his 16th year in the NBA, and Eddie Jones, a two-time All-Star, at the off-guard spot. Del Harris is in his 5th year coaching the Lakers, perhaps feeling the heat a little bit. LA's only 6-5. Better things are expected for this team, given the amount of talent that they have. For the Vancouver Grizzlies, Brian "Big Country" Reeves is going to make his first start of the season after losing all the weight that he brought to camp with him. Abdur Rahim and Michael Smith, a good rebounder, join him. Mike Bibby, a rookie point guard, having a good rookie season to this point, in Sam Max, very hot shooting the ball. Brian Hill's team, he was very upset, Brian Heaney, with the play that his team put on the floor in Toronto on Sunday. Didn't like the effort at all, didn't like their work on the glass. He ran them through their paces yesterday at practice.
Well, he did. They had a film session that went almost 2 hours. Brian Hill feeling that the players have to actually see what they haven't done before they'll really understand what he's saying to them.
This is the first sellout of the season for the Grizzlies, and the big reason, of course, is Shaquille O'Neal and the Los Angeles Lakers. Although I'd imagine that very quickly Kobe Bryant is developing his own fan club that will soon rival Shaq's.
Well, the Lakers have always had a tremendous fan draw. It's just been throughout their history, and when you bring Shaq and Kobe into town, everybody comes out to see it.
Travis Knight couldn't finish the alley-oop from Shaq, gets it back and turns it over. Lakers with a set play, it appeared, coming off the tap, and unusual to see Shaq throwing a lob pass. Bibby at the point, 2nd year in a row the Grizzlies have had a rookie point guard. Sam Mack way off on his first 3 attempt, and here's Kobe, and you are going to see some skills and some flair and some excitement from 20-year-old Kobe Bryant. If you haven't seen him play yet, you won't want to miss him. Now Bryant launches the jumper, and LA leads. Kobe at 21 points per game, scoring more than his age. A lot of people can say that.
I think he's really improved his shooting this year over last year. He's a lot more poised in his shot selection.
Also rebounding tremendously well at nearly 10 per game. And Eddie Jones, among the league leader in steals, has his first tonight. Derek Harper will put it up. Rebound comes free to Sharif Abdur-Rahim, having another outstanding season. 4th in the league in scoring. Great matchup between Abdur-Rahim, who misses the tap. Missed an easier, but Abdur-Rahim and Kobe Bryant matched up on one another. It's going to be something to follow. Travis Knight just inside the 3-point line, and both teams cold early. Foul underneath appears to be on Abdur-Rahim.
One of the things Vancouver does not have is depth in some of their key positions. Abdur-Rahim's position is one of them. They've got to keep Sharif in the ballgame. He's just too vital to their offensive game. And also Mike Bibby, who has had a tremendous amount of time at the point for a rookie. They have to keep him out of foul trouble as well, because really the absence of Lee Mayberry has taken over the Grizzly team.
Harper, Shaq, they'll let him stay 18 feet for the bucket. This is the jump hook. Now over Reeves and hits that one, but that's a shot Brian Hill can live with. He just wants Big Country to keep Shaq as far away from the basket as possible.
Shaq likes to make that little turnaround spin move, and he can make that jump shot.
Back into the hands of Bibby. As Brian mentioned, Lee Mayberry out with an ankle injury, so Bibby starting and playing about 38 minutes a game. Beautiful feed, and Michael Smith, who averages under 3 points per game, takes the pass from Bibby and gets the Grizzlies on the board.
And you see Mike Bibby penetrating there because they brought Shaquille O'Neal high to defend Bryant Reeves, who set the high pick, opening the lane for Bibby to drive.
Bibby much more of a true point guard than Antonio Daniels was. Shaq again, and he's got 4, averaging better than 28.
You have to respect Shaq when he's got his back to the basket in the low post. He likes to turn toward his right shoulder on the turnaround jump shot. It's back.
Bibby called for an over and a back that didn't go over really well on the Grizzlies side of the floor. Del Harris and the Lakers started last year 11-0. This year they're 6-5 with Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Eddie Jones, and maybe by the end of the night Dennis Rodman. The story is that Rodman is going to sign with the Lakers by the end of the evening and play for them Thursday against the Clippers. Shaq with a nice feed to Travis Knight and a foul by Country.
Shaquille O'Neal has such great athletic skills. He's dominant in the low post, but when you start to see him make the move and draw to help defensive players, and then he can drop the pass off. Look at him there. No look pass to Travis Knight, goes right to the rim and gets fouled. Shaquille O'Neal makes the play for Travis Knight. You know, if Dennis Rodman shows up in the Lakers, it's going to capture the attention of the whole basketball world, because he's a guy who contributed, obviously, the last 3 World Championships to the Chicago Bulls. But the big question mark is, how would a Dennis Rodman fit into this Laker organization, given the kind of team that it is, and the output that Dennis brings to town? Will that be accepted by the other players? And who will be the players that are able actually to control Dennis Rodman as he starts to get out of hand, which sooner or later that's going to happen on occasion.
Last year, of course, Michael Jordan's personality and Phil Jackson's personality exerted themselves over Rodman and pretty much kept him in check. Here's Reeves from the baseline. That's a shot he generally will hit, but this year has been struggling with it. Although he's lost all the weight he wanted to, his conditioning is still not where it should be.
Well, when you drop all that weight in such a short period of time, you still don't have the legs underneath you for basketball conditioning. With Brian Reeves, in order to be on his game as a shooter, you've got to have the legs underneath you.
O'Neal turned it over. He got caught on the baseline with no one to pass to. Reeves has reportedly dropped 35 pounds since the lockout ended. That's a lot of weight very quickly. Here's Sharif working on Kobe, trying to take him in close to the basket. Fadeaway jumper. At the other end, a spectacular finish for Eddie Jones.
And that's one of the keys for the Vancouver Grizzlies, is to control Eddie Jones in transition. The Lakers like to run, and Eddie Jones, the quickest amongst them, up and down the court.
A 10-4 lead for Los Angeles. Quick double team on Sharif. He'll see that all night long. Reeves with a jumper and a foul as well.
If Brian Reeves can establish himself from 15, 17 feet, make that jump shot tonight, that puts a situation in place where Shaquille O'Neal has to come out and respect that shot. If Reeves draws Shaquille away from the basket, it opens up the inside for the opportunity to penetrate and crash the boards.
The foul committed by Travis Knight sends Reeves to the line. Both Reeves and Coach Brian Hill agreed in saying there's no point in looking back at how out of shape Reeves was when he got to camp. He's worked hard, he's lost the weight, now it's time for a reward, and the reward is his first start of the season here tonight.
He has a lot of hard work ahead of him, but you have to remember, if you do look back to last season, after the All-Star break, Brian Reeves was the second leading scorer amongst the centers in the NBA, averaged 22 a game from the All-Star break to the end of the year.
Brian with a long jumper, rebound to Michael Smith, that's why he's on the floor. Bibby pushing it the other way. Grizzlies back within 3. Smith and a block by Shaq. Derek Harper over Bibby. Won't stay down for him. And is it Travis Knight again?
Shaquille O'Neal, who dominates teams offensively, but defensively, look at his presence here. A little out of position, but was able to recover, quick of foot, and get up. And intimidates on defense with the block shot.
Intimidates at both ends of the floor. Lakers up 3. Shaq with 4 points at this point. Bibby uses the screen and a pull-up jumper over Harper. Brings the Grizzlies back within 1. They're on a 5-0 run.
Mike Bibby's shooting has been a little bit inconsistent to this stage in the season, but let's remember, he's a rookie point guard. He's got a lot to concentrate on, but he's capable of being a great shooter in this league.
At the other end, O'Neal just muscles his way through Reeves. Lakers by 3, Shaq with 6. Now Shaq will leave Reeves open. That's a shot, as you said, he's got to hit.
He has to establish that, because if he doesn't, then that means he's got to go down inside and battle offensively with Shaquille. That's a tough war for him to win. And secondly, it leaves Shaquille around the basket.
Corey Blunt underneath came in to replace Travis Knight, who's got 2 fouls in his first bucket. And Brian Hill wants a timeout after a couple of easy hoops for the Lakers immediately following a Vancouver run. Grizzlies down 5 to the Lakers early. Vancouver, what do the Grizzlies have to do to win this game?
Well, Mike Bibby at the point must protect the basketball. If he commits turnovers, that puts the Lakers in transition. You play to their strength. Reeves has to continue to shoot well from the outside or establish that game, so Shaq has to move out and away from the basket in order to cover him up, and they've got to rebound much better than they have been. The Lakers, relentless pressure on Bibby. They've got to bring it to him and make him work the whole game, tire him out. Jones and Bryant fly out on the break. Vancouver does not play well converting to defense against transition, and then finally they have to substitute to utilize their depth. The Laker team has a lot more talent on the bench than Vancouver does.
And they're already substituting. We've seen Blunt for Knight, and now we see Eldon Campbell for Shaq. So O'Neal gets an early rest, much earlier than normal.
And you know, Eldon Campbell plays a lot better when Shaq is not in the basketball. When he had to replace Shaq last year during the time period that he was injured, Eldon Campbell averaged 18 points a ball game. When Shaq's in the ball game, for whatever reason, Eldon Campbell never seems to be able to get it to save.
And Campbell now the subject of many trade rumors that will only intensify if Dennis Rodman does indeed sign with the Lakers later on tonight, as has been rumored. At the line for Vancouver, Mike Bibby, second overall pick in the '98 draft behind only Michael Olowokandi of the LA Clippers. And all things considered, I think you'd have to say he's having a very good rookie season. He's been one of the most noticeable rookies in the league.
Well, there's a lot of poise and a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. He certainly can shoot the foul shots, and that's one of the things that the Grizzlies as a team do very well. They're an excellent foul shooting team. Bibby, of course, when he gets fouled, contributes to that. Sharif Abdur-Rahim's a good foul shooter. Brian Reeves is not bad, and Sam Mack is a terrific foul shooter.
Hasn't missed one yet this year, Mack. 17 for 17. Campbell over Reeves, and the rebound for Sharif. Now Reeves sets up in the low block against Campbell. Instead of stepping out like he does against Shaq, he'll try to work on Campbell, but misses the shot. And Reeves early is 1 of 4 from the floor. Jones with a long jumper around and out. A rebound to Bibby, looking to push. Sharif with the finish on a great feed from Bibby.
Sharif Abdur-Rahim continues to improve his upper body strength. Not one of the strongest players in the league with upper body, but he's able to absorb the hit and continue to make that kind of a shot.
And now the Grizzlies have a chance to take their first lead of the night. Michael Smith in a foul.
See, that's what Mike Bibby does very, very well. He moves in a direction on the court, but he's aware of what's happening on the other side of the court. He doesn't have to look at it. He remembers where the players were positioned. Therefore, when he sees a defensive player move, he goes right back to the open offensive player.
And for those of you who watched a lot of Antonio Daniels last year, no disrespect to Daniels, but they're very different types of guards. Daniels looks to score a little bit more, and Bibby looks to involve his teammates.
And I guess maybe what you could say is that Mike Bibby is a natural-born point guard. He's always played that position. It's natural to him. He's not relearning a position. And Antonio Daniels was in a situation where that was not always the case.
Derek Fisher comes into the point to replace Derek Harper for the Lakers. Fisher had been the starter until just this past Sunday. Smith hits 1 of 2 to tie the game. Also into the game for the Lakers for the first time is Rick Fox, wearing number 17 with the ball now. He was born in the Toronto area and represented Canada at the 1994 World Championships. He's struggling a little bit. Limited minutes this year. Campbell draws a foul on Reeves, and that's bad news. Reeves has to save all those fouls for when Shaq's in the game.
Well, that's where the Lakers really have an advantage. You see Derek Fisher in the ballgame now. That's the second player, quality player, that Mike Bibby has to match up against. And, of course, Bryant Reeves, he has to face both Shaq and Campbell. Over the course of the game, it wears a team down when you're playing 2 against 1. It's just not a fair trade.
Reeves is out along with Michael Smith. Cherokee Parks comes in, as does Tony Massenberg, who had been the starter in place of Reeves until tonight. And Ryan Hill wants to switch these duos in tandem. Jones floats to the basket. Parks may have gotten a piece. As we speak, Shaquille O'Neal getting set to check back in. And Grizzlies going to have some size problems as soon as Shaq gets back into the game. Abdur-Rahim working on Fox. Draws the foul, which he does as well as any player in the league. He was 3rd in the league in shooting free throws last year.
Sharif Abdur-Rahim, he loves to make the spin move, and he does it so well. If you cut the baseline off on him, he'll spin back to the middle, comes back to balance, and is able to get the shot away, and oftentimes draws the contact.
Campbell his first. Abdur-Rahim's an 85% free throw shooter, but misses the first. Here comes O'Neal. Corey Blunt comes out, and now either Cherokee Parks or Tony Massenberg is going to have to cover O'Neal, and whichever one it is, they're going to be giving up probably about 50 or 60 pounds.
And in some ways, offensively, with Parks in the ballgame and Tony Massenberg, it creates for a better offensive unit than when Bryant Reeves is there, but they suffer on this defensive matchup, and they have to, either one of them, take on Shaq.
A 6-0 run for the Grizzlies to give them their first lead of the night. Lakers have missed their last 4 shots.
Massenberg got up real nice on an attempted pick and roll, presenting himself in the backcourt.
Fisher with a long three-pointer, and the rebound Cherokee Parks. As soon as Shaq touched the ball, he was triple teamed and forced to pass it out to the perimeter. Lakers will have to hit some outside shots because the Grizzlies are going to double and triple Shaq every time he gets the ball. Dribbles his way through traffic. Look at this. Eddie Jones and another assist for Shaquille O'Neal.
Excellent. And Shaquille O'Neal has the athletic talent to make that kind of a play. He can dribble the basketball in the middle of a break, and even better, he can make a good decision on where to pass it and how to pass it.
Eddie Jones trying to say that went off Bibby out of bounds. Officials didn't agree, but Jones is a dangerous defender, always trying to get in the passing lanes.
Eddie Jones always amongst the top 10 in leaders in the NBA in steals. Very quick hands. He really bleeds the passing lanes.
Massenberg trying to work on Shaq, and Eldon Campbell came over to help. But it's O'Neal who picks up the foul. Shaq's had a lot to say about officiating in the last couple of days.
You see Shaquille O'Neal bodying up on Tony Massenberg. Eldon Campbell moves his arm down and slaps the basketball away, and that's what Shaquille O'Neal was questioning.
And he was more than questioning the officiating on Sunday. After the Seattle game, he complained about other players not getting called for fouls for hacking him, and he was so forthright in his comments. He was fined $10,000, and then last night in Denver, he himself fouled out. So he's not really happy right now with the state of officiating in the NBA. Fox matched up with Abdur-Rahim. It's Vancouver by 1. Shaq calling for it inside. Now sends a screen to help out Eddie Jones. And a push is called on Tony Massenberg.
That's not really the move that Shaquille O'Neal wants to make on that play. He wants to get himself in a situation where his back is to the basket or he has an open lane to the basket. So when he sets a screen, it's important that the guard come off that screen, forcing Shaquille's man to commit to him.
Shaq with 6 points with no dunks. Nothing demoralizing so far. The Grizzlies are doing a pretty good job on him, forcing him to pass the ball out of the post. Fisher with a 2-pointer and a rebound Parks.
Derek Fisher's really struggled with his outside shooting at the beginning of the season.
Bibby has it knocked away again by Eddie Jones. What a force he is defensively. We'll step aside for a timeout with 2:58 to play, first quarter. Lakers and Grizzlies in a close one here in Vancouver.
Don't forget to start your Hoops Week off right with NBA in the Paint. 5 o'clock Eastern on Monday, 2 Pacific. Next Monday, we'll look ahead to next Friday's TSN matchup between the Magic and the Raptors. That is Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific. Back to Dan and Brian at the Garage.
With the season shortened because of the lockout and the NBA trying to cram in as many games as possible, the Lakers are in one of those stretches, 6 games in 8 nights, and tonight their 3rd game in 3 days. Lost Sunday in Seattle, went down to Denver and lost in OT last night, and now up into Vancouver here tonight. It's been no picnic for the Grizzlies either over the last little while, and again, like the Lakers, things started pretty well for the Grizzlies, but things have become more difficult as the week has progressed as well, and it really began with that triple overtime loss against Boston just a night after a double overtime win against the Clippers. Into Minneapolis, into Toronto. They played poorly. They come all the way back across the country and are now playing the Lakers tonight. Sam Mack knows it's been a pretty tough week.
It's a fast pace this year. You know, it's like a city bus going down the street every 5 minutes. It seems like it's a game coming up. So the thing is, you know, you got to get your rest. Got to get your rest.
how do you get your rest? I mean, I guess one of the positive things is the more you play, the less you have to practice.
Well, I suppose players could look at it that way. I certainly think with two young ball clubs like you have here in Vancouver and the Lakers, that the physical demands won't be felt as much as the emotional and the mental demands if you string losses into tight time periods.
What a sequence for Eddie Jones as he blocks Sam Mack's shot on one end, sprints down the floor, finishes the break, and draws the foul as well.
One of the things the Lakers do very well is they throw over the top. They throw over the top of teams to get all the way down the court. Look at Eddie Jones here. Great catch. Goes right to the goal. Doesn't even lay the ball down on the dribble. Just explodes to the backboard and converts to 2 points.
He's now the high scorer in this game with 7 in 4 games against the Grizzlies. Last year, he averaged 23 points per game. So while Shaq and Kobe get all the attention, Ryan Hill knows he's got to be just as concerned about Eddie Jones.
Well, he does have to be concerned about Eddie Jones because of the matchup problems at their two-guard position. Sam Mack is playing very well for the Grizzlies. As a matter of fact, he has scored 20 points in 4 of the last 5 games and had 19 in the other. But it's a tough defensive assignment for Sam Mack because of Eddie Jones' speed and quickness.
Raheem baseline, draws the foul.
Raheem is an excellent penetrating player. Probably the strongest part of his game still is with his back to the basket, but he certainly can take the baseline on you and create action inside. However, he has worked hard in the offseason and is starting now to establish himself as a face-up outside shooter, and you'll see some of that tonight. That makes him double trouble. If you've got to go outside and defend him when he's facing out and then stop him from penetrating to the basket with his quickness to get there, it just gives you all sorts of fits. You're going to have to start to rotate and double him up and give him extra attention.
Some changes for Vancouver in the backcourt. Doug West and DeJuan Wheat come in. And Mike Bibby and Sam Mack go out.
Now you see Doug West is back from an injury, is a better defensive player at that position than Sam Mack, and he's in to match up against Eddie Jones, who's off to a hot start.
Shaq with the lob for Eldon Campbell, who missed it. Second time tonight, Shaq has thrown a lob pass that wasn't finished by one of his teammates. Now DeJuan Wheat, second year out of Louisville, originally drafted in '97 by the Lakers. Massenberg over Shaq. Ambitious move, but couldn't finish, and now Rick Fox starts the Lakers back 4-on-2. Jones for O'Neal, and good hustle defensively by Abdur-Rahim.
Take a look here at Shaquille O'Neal putting the basketball up in the air for Eldon Campbell, wide open, coming down the middle, misses the dunk. Shaquille O'Neal was left with a big grin on his face saying, I thought I chalked up an assist there, Eldon.
You know, Shaq's already got 3 assists in this game and really should have 2 more. And that's exactly what you want to prevent. Not only did Tony Massenberg prevent the dunk, he didn't even foul Shaq, but you got to keep him from getting too revved up with those big dunks. Wants it again. Here comes the double team. It'll leave Fox open. 2-man game. Lakers will swing it around. Derek Fisher is bumped by Doug West. West with a bit of a glare after the fact.
He does have a glare. He'll come right at you, Doug West. He likes to play on the defensive end of the floor. He certainly is going to gobble up space and not give an open lane to the basket. Look at him here. He goes very hard against Derek Fisher. And then he stands and just takes a glance at him and says, no free lanes to the basket when Doug West is in the ballgame.
I'm sure Brian Hill doesn't mind that at all. West is the one guy he mentioned as a potential leadership voice on this team, but with West coming off the bench, it makes things a little bit more difficult. Brian Hill wants to see a little more vocal, some more vocal players on the floor. He wants to see more emotion.
Well, and you know, he has a situation where their 3 draft picks over the last few years are starting, so there's not a lot of maturity, and he likes to see the leadership come from more mature players, but he just doesn't have it in a situation where they're starting. And with the profile of Bivy, Raheem, and Reeves.
Sharif doesn't get the roll. Rebound to Campbell, who's back into the game. It's Massenberg on O'Neal. Cherokee Parks has Campbell. Shaq backing down to Massenberg. Misses the short jumper, and another rebound for Cherokee Parks. Abdur-Rahim with a size advantage over Kobe. Dumps it off for Massenberg. And a foul is called underneath on Campbell.
Very nice. obviously the great players, they have a rounded game early on in their career. Sharif Abdur-Rahim, not only an outstanding scorer in the NBA, but complements that by making you pay the price when you give him that defensive pressure. Look at him right there. Didn't even turn to look. Just had a sixth sense that Massenberg was alone on the low post and dumped it right in. An unselfish player.
Yes. Number 2 on Campbell sends Massenberg to the line. One of the players who has played for both the Grizzlies and the Raptors. This is the first. He did a very credible job starting at center the first 9 games, with Reeves only moving back into the starting lineup tonight. Massenberg is undersized to play the center position, but works as hard as any player on the team.
And he's a very strong player, better able to match up against the power forward slot, but he certainly is game to take anybody on. But you've got to have that extra size and bulk that Reeves brings to the court, especially against Shaquille.
Kobe Bryant all the way to the basket. Back the other way is DeJuan Wade.
Good choice. Good choice, DeJuan Wade. Took the final defensive player, kept going to the basket, made him commit. As soon as he got the commitment, he dumped it right off on the assist.
And they are on their feet to a certain extent here in Vancouver as they take a 1-point lead over the Lakers. Sharif Abdur-Rahim with 9 points in the first quarter. 7-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Tough pass, turnover. Numbers for Vancouver with plenty of time here remaining in the first quarter. And it's Abdur-Rahim fouled from behind by Rick Fox.
4 on 2 there for Vancouver, something you don't usually expect to see. The Grizzlies running the Lakers.
And I think this crowd doesn't appreciate it. The Grizzlies have lost 3 in a row, facing the highest profile and perhaps most talented team in the league, and leading here late in the first quarter.
Sharif Abdur-Rahim runs the court and handles so well. And then when he gets on the backboard and can dribble off the rebound, he adds yet another dimension to the fast break.
Doing an outstanding job tonight. 5 of 6 from the line, 11 points overall. Just a few seconds for the Lakers to get a shot on. Fisher tries to go all the way and hits at the buzzer to bring the Lakers back within 1 after 12 minutes of play. An entertaining first quarter comes to a close with the Grizzlies playing very well in the last few minutes. Lakers led by as many as 5 on a couple of occasions, but it's Vancouver by 1 with the second quarter coming up here from GM Place. 1-point lead over the Lakers, and there are a couple of big reasons why. One is they've kept Kobe Bryant in check. He had only 2 points on 1 of 4 shooting in the first quarter of play. Statistically, each team at 38%. Vancouver getting to the line very often and hitting when they're there, but maybe the biggest stat, rebounds. It's close, but Vancouver's one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. The Lakers are one of the best, so it's pretty remarkable that the Grizzlies are leading in this department.
One of the things the Grizzlies are doing is they're staying home on the boards, and there hasn't been a lot of penetration from the outside perimeter by the Lakers, so they're not breaking down the Grizzlies defense. Therefore, they're able to get the matchup, make the block out, and at least go head-to-head in terms of coloring the defensive rebounds.
Kobe Bryant pretty quiet, as we mentioned. He's coming off an outstanding game last night in Denver, and if there's one guy who's not going to be tired from playing games on a back-to-back-to-back nights, it's Kobe Bryant.
But Kobe Bryant has a tremendous work ethic in terms of his development in basketball. He's the kind of guy he lifts weights on game days in the morning. He just wants to play.
Should be a junior in college right now in terms of eligibility had he gone that route, but he came right out of high school into the NBA. Sharif Abdur-Rahim only played 1 year in college. Mike Bibby only played 2. It's just the way it is right now. You get a lot of young and raw but very talented players in the league. Weed still at the point of giving Bibby a rest. He was the one who made that great feed to Abdur-Rahim for the dunk, and now an offensive foul is called against Tony Massenberg.
Tony Massenberg just trying to set that screen and moving through it, creating the offensive foul. You see DeJuan Wade here on the screen. Massenberg comes up and not set, and initiates the contact on Derek Fisher.
And the Grizzlies have to be careful. That's 2 on Massenberg, and he's replacing Brian Reeves, who's on the bench with 2. Shaq kicks it out to Kobe Bryant, wide open for 3. Massenberg with a good rebound, keeping Shaq on his back. Bryant now 1 for 5 from the floor. Parks puts it on the floor, trying to make O'Neal work.
Grizzlies are very deliberate on offense. They spent some time this morning going through their walkthroughs. Really want to gain spacing on the court. Make sure they get a good offensive attempt each time down.
Minute into the second quarter, still Vancouver by 1 with Bibby and Reeves set to check back in for Vancouver. Fox getting some minutes here for the Lakers, trying to get his offensive game on track this year. And it looks like Cherokee Parks has picked up a foul, getting muscled in by Eldon Campbell. Reeves and Bibby, two of the biggest three pieces of the puzzle for the Grizzlies in their future. As Massenberg and Wannabe both played pretty well, come back out.
It is a team with a future as well, because they've got some of the brightest young stars in those three players. And Brian Hill has a difficult job because he's got to patch in a collection of players that, for the most part, would be backups in positions at the 2 position, at the 4 position, and complement that with 3 relatively inexperienced players. But he's a teaching coach, and that's what he's been brought to Vancouver to do. That's what he did a good job of. To notice the job that he did last year over the previous year was exceptional, and to continue that this year and reach his goal, which he says is he wants to win certainly more than the 19 games they won last year, but it's a compressed schedule. So that's an ambitious and a lofty goal. And I think expectations were buoyed when they got off with the 3 early wins in the season. But this is a ball team that I think you'll see continue to improve all year long.
Shaq 1 of 2 from the line, and that's pretty typical for him. Just a 56% free throw shooter. Doug West committed the foul, his second, and in hacking Shaq, as Shaq likes to say, you prevent him from dunking and getting all excited. Plus, you put him to the line where he's a liability.
Well, that's something that Mike Bibby has had problems with. When they bring the double team to him as a rookie point guard, he tends to hold on to the basketball too long and winds up getting into trouble as he did there.
Having some turnover problems the last couple of games. He says he needs to be energized. He needs to be the floor leader for this team, in spite of the fact he's just a rookie. A nice screen from Reeves. And Bruce Alexander's called a foul.
An interesting full switch there as Bibby picks up Shaq on him. Derek Fisher tries to use his forearms to control Brian Reeves. He certainly didn't want Reeves to take him right down into the paint area.
Fisher his first, and a fresh 24 for the Grizzlies. Parks looking baseline. West kept alive by Reeves, but look at the elevation by Kobe.
Tremendous leap.
Now cross-court pass, a little bit too high. Back come the Grizzlies. Doug West challenges Travis Knight. Mike Bibby the follow.
Great presence of mind by Bibby to follow the break. A lot of players stand and watch what develops. Mike Bibby follows the teammate, follows the break, winds up getting the offensive tip.
Definitely more energy here tonight for the Grizzlies than they showed in Toronto on Sunday. Now a turnover committed by the Lakers as they're getting sloppy. And the Grizzlies head to the break with a 2-point lead. 9:43 to play, second quarter. Mike Bibby's having a very good night. He knows that he's very important to this team. One of the most important things he can bring to the Grizzlies simply is energy.
You know, not too energized that it plays off on the team. And the last 2 games, I haven't been too energized. And, you know, we lost pretty bad. So, you know, I'm come out tonight and just try to, you know, get everybody going.
This is a team in search of leadership, and Mike Bibby, he may not be the quickest point guard, nor is he the best ball handler at the point position in the NBA, and not the best defender, but he is one of the best combinations of all those things that comprise the essence of a point guard. And maybe the most important thing for this franchise is he has the ability to involve all of his teammates in the game. Everybody gets involved when Mike Bibby's running the ball club.
So important, obviously, especially when you've got an offensive weapon like Sharif, who needs the ball in a good position to be effective. Abdur-Rahim has gone to the bench for the first time tonight. He's the leader in minutes this year. West has it blocked by Shaq. And a 24-second violation is called. Really, the Lakers could have been given that ball. They had a 4-on-2, but instead they'll have to inbound it.
Well, one of the keys to blocking shots, of course, is to keep that basketball in play. That turns the block shot into transition where you build those numbers.
Fox sits down here. Harper has returned. Travis Knight has returned as well. Going back to the starting 5 has Del Harris. Shaq with Reeves on him. He's got 2 fouls. 2-man game. And finally Harper with a long shot. way short. And Reeves with a rebound, which Brian Hill will love, considering the big guy had only 2 in 30 minutes against the Raptors Sunday. Now the 18-footer. He knew from the moment he let it go it was short. He followed the shot, and it barely grazed the ring. Reeves just not close to where he was the second half of last year. Shaq, one-on-one. No double team comes, but Shaq leaves it short.
Cherokee Park's really hustling on the backboards. He's showing a range in the front court that can contribute to the front court play. And Cherokee Parks is not a starting player, although he has started some games this year. But if he can get productive minutes off the bench on the backboard, that makes a big contribution to Brian Hill's squad.
Lakers, Brian, shooting on 35% for the backcourt. They are 2 of 11. Here's an offensive foul committed by Travis Hunter.
You know, Dan, that 2 of 11 builds frustration in the Laker basketball team. And if they don't solve that frustration by getting intensity up on the defensive end, they can languish in that. I think one of the reasons they haven't shot well is you look at their travel the last 2 games, the 2 losses, they come out, they're flat-footed on the outside shot. Tired legs contributes to missed shots from the perimeter. Get inside, establish an inside game, let it come to you in transition as the game flows.
Lost Sunday at Seattle, lost last night in Denver, only 6-5 in 7th place in the Western Conference. Reeves over Shaq, and Shaq has another block. That's his 3rd. It's already twice his average. 3 seconds on the shot clock. I don't know if Bibby knows it. He does, and he hits.
So he made that play. The ability to generate offense in a situation where you're running out of time is also something that Mike Bibby brings to the table.
And great composure as well, not rushing at all, knowing how much time was left. A lot of contact inside between Reeves and O'Neal. Illegal defense is the call on the Grizzlies. First time a warning, every time after a technical. Shaquille O'Neal with 7 points, but if you can have a quiet 7 in the second quarter, he's had a quiet 7. 3 of 5 from the floor, 1 of 2 from the line. Good entry pass from Kobe Bryant. Double team leaves Kobe open. Swinging around to Eddie Jones, but the Grizzlies are recovering nicely. Finally, it's Jones. Loose ball to Bibby. Nice defensive set by the Grizzlies, making the Lakers work for it. Vancouver lead. Jones knocked down, back open. Rebound Blunt out of bounds to the Lakers. And we can see how Cherokee spent the lockout. He got himself heavily covered in tattoos.
Pretty fancy stuff.
Duke University, I don't think he dared to wear those kinds of tattoos when Mike Krzyzewski was his coach, but a little more open-minded as the NBA. Kobe's jumper won't stay down, and he's having a rough night from the floor.
The Lakers are missing from the outside. Vancouver has to make them pay the price in transition.
Lakers struggling. 7 minutes left, second quarter, and it's Vancouver trying to snap a 3-game losing streak, leading by 4. The sellout crowd, the Grizzlies putting on a good show, leading by 4. I want to tell you about a Wednesday afternoon. It's the Anderson Consulting Match Play Championship, where the top 64 players in the world will get together and compete for a purse of $5 million. This is the first of 4 World Tour events. Begins Wednesday afternoon at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, here on TSN. Shaquille O'Neal with 7 points, but has been held in check pretty well by the combination of Brian Reeves and Tony Massenberg, each of whom have 2 fouls. Generally, the Grizzlies have doubled the post, so Shaq has been unable to get loose. At the other end, Sharif Abdur-Rahim, as he almost always is the high scorer in the game with 11 points. But again, as we mentioned at the end of the first quarter, maybe the most significant number we can tell you about the rebounding numbers. Vancouver over the Lakers by 6. That's remarkable.
And it's something that Vancouver has had a problem with over the last couple of years.
Abdur-Rahim, no, but there's another rebound. Kick it out for Bibby. And Shaq will clear. Remember, the Grizzlies had only 27 rebounds the entire game against the Raptors Sunday. They've already got 21 here tonight.
Well, one of the reports on the Grizzlies is that this could be a different team every night they come out on the floor. And obviously, it's a different team than the one that played in Toronto the other night. Brian Hill was looking for more energy. He was looking for more conscious effort on the defensive end. And on the backboards, and so far the Grizzlies have delivered tonight.
O'Neal back to the line. One of the big problems for the Lakers is his free throw shooting. As great a player as he is, toward the end of a close game, other teams will just send in bench players to foul him time after time, send him to the line. He gets frustrated, and the Lakers don't get anywhere. You look at him at 56%, you look at Sharif at 85%, and what a difference that makes toward the end of a game. Harper really knocks it away from Bibby. 10 on the shot clock. Bibby with too much speed for Harper, and Harper's going to reach in on it.
And Mike Bibby's smart enough to know that as Bryant Reeves came right out to the top of the key, that opened up the entire paint area. He realized he had Derek Harper on him, somebody he can be. Watch Reeves now. He steps up toward the top of the circle, and there goes Bibby right into the open area. Harper fouling him on the way.
Reeves will step out again. Now it's Abdur-Rahim posting up on the smaller Bryant. Bryant doesn't buy the fake and made the shot a little bit tougher. Good job by Kobe. At the other end, Bryant trying to exploit a quickness advantage over Abdur-Rahim. It's a classic size versus quickness battle between these two small forwards. Bibby with no shot to get around the screen for Shaq. Shaq gets it back. And again, Ryan Hill will be happy if Shaq's that far away from the basket all night long. Reeves putting it on the floor. Now back from outside for three.
With Sam back heats up, that adds a whole other dimension to the Grizzly offense tonight. He's a fine outside shooter.
A 43% shooter from three-point range this season, and the Grizzlies have their largest lead of the night. Derek Harper with a basket. The Lakers had gone more than 6 minutes without a field goal until that bucket.
And leave it to Derek Harper to find the opening. He sees the paint wide open and just takes it. There's nobody there to help.
Harper brought in to stabilize this team a little bit, to make sure everybody can touch the basketball. There's been a lot of talk that maybe the court isn't big enough for both Shaq and Kobe, each of them with great skills, but also large egos as well. Each of them wants to be the #1 guy, and one of Harper's jobs is to make sure that everybody gets enough touches. Bibby kicks it out for Sharif. He'll try a rare three-pointer. Weak side rebound, Bibby. And when you're 6'1", you got to dribble it out of there. Another offensive rebound, though, for the Grizzlies. Reeves by Shaq, left hand, and a foul.
Very nice move by Big Country. Goes hard to the left hand, right down the lane. Good teamwork by the Grizzlies. They're moving the basketball very well, unselfishly. Here the ball goes back to Big Country. He goes right down to the open block hard, goes with the left hand, and gets hooked by Shaq from behind. Here he goes again, trying to get explosion.
You don't see Reeves make that kind of a move very often.
No, that's a surprising move for Bryant Reeves.
Reportedly came into camp at about 320 pounds, has lost about 35 pounds in barely over a month, really. But the numbers, those numbers, not where they need to be, especially in the rebounding department. The Grizzlies need help on the glass, and a 7-foot, 290-pound guy has got to be able to average 9-10 rebounds a night. Blunt. Kobe, very cold offensively, great crossover dribble. Shaq double team, doesn't mind, misses the shot, Reeves the rebound. Neither O'Neal nor Bryant able to get it going for the Lakers, and at the other end, Abdur-Rahim misses, and Eddie Jones looks ahead for Shaq. Look out now. And a travel on Shaquille O'Neal.
Challenging Shaq in transition. Now he can dribble the basketball in the open floor, but he has a little bit harder time, obviously, catching the ball, looking behind him, and then turning. And Mike Bibby presents himself. Shaq just takes the little extra half step there, gets called for the traveling violation. Not really the position you want to have your 7-foot, 300-pound center in.
Shaq will sit down with the Lakers down to 4. Awful shooting for both teams in this game. Low scoring affair at 32-28 Vancouver. Now exactly 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Reeves with Campbell on him. He might have gotten away with steps and missed a tough shot. And Michael Smith keeps it alive. Now the Lakers. Harper in trouble in the corner, finds Campbell. The Lakers have just one field goal this entire quarter, almost 8.5 minutes of play. They can't buy one.
This is a team who's lost focus for the time being anyway. They have not come out here. They're not sharp on offense. They're not focused on what they want to accomplish. There's a lot of indecision, and when there's indecision and uncertainty, you're not able to play with a high field goal percentage and execute the way you're drilling.
Bibby got in too deep. 3-on-1. Bryant with a finish and a foul as well. Sam Mack absolutely livid at the call.
Very animated Sam Mack. You got to be careful there. You show the official up there you're asking for a technical foul.
Still in conversation with Violet Palmer, who made the call. There is an area under the basket which is marked by a dotted line. If you're inside that semicircle, you cannot take a charge. You're simply too close to the basket. Kobe can jump over anybody. It appeared Mack was there in plenty of time, but we didn't get a shot to see his feet to see how tight under the basket he was.
And if any part of the feet are inside that line, then the charging contact is negated.
Bryant shooting the technical foul, missed it. And now everybody comes back in as he'll shoot the free throw from the original foul. Brian Hill is upset with the call as Sam Mack was. Technical assess to Coach Hill. And Kobe hits 1 of 2 in effect to complete the original 3-point play and bring the Lakers back within 1.
Starting to see the Lakers pick up intensity now on defense. Derek Harper getting out, trying to deny the basketball back to Mike Bibby, trying to get it out of his hands once he gives it up.
Pick and roll between Bibby and Reeves. 2 on the shot clock. Sharif will hang and hit.
Very strong move by Sharif Abdur-Rahim without the ball to the basket, and there's the value of the point guard instincts of Mike Bibby.
Every time you've seen him, you think you've seen him do everything he can do. He comes up with a new move, even more body control. On the feed from Bibby, Sharif Abdur-Rahim, one of the smoothest players in the NBA, drops it home. And we'll head to the line when we return with 2:48 to play first half. Abdur-Rahim and the Grizzlies up by 3. He's leading the Lakers by 3. Another tough night for Los Angeles. They have lost 2 in a row. Grizzlies have lost 3 in a row. Mike Bibby with another assist, and Sharif Abdur-Rahim with his first points of the second quarter just before we went into the timeout. Sharif has 13. He's the high scorer in this game, and Grizzly fans, young and old, have filled this place. The first sellout at GM Place this year, and they're being rewarded with a good effort by the hometown team.
Well, they've come out of the locker room ready to play tonight. The Grizzlies really have a mental attitude this year that they can make that improvement that they're looking for. They can go to the next level. They just need to establish a better game on the defensive end of the floor. Now, the Lakers have helped and played into their hands tonight because they're not shooting well from the outside.
2:48 to play first half. Abdur-Rahim back to the line where he always seems to be. Trying to extend the Vancouver lead. Brian Reeves has played well in his first start of the season. 4 points and 5 rebounds. And most impressively, the Grizzlies somehow have managed to hold both Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal in check.
The problem is when you say that kind of a thing, Dan, you wonder when the lid's going to come off, because both of those players have been so dominant this season.
Between them, they average better than 49 points per game. To this point of the ball game tonight, they've combined for 13. O'Neal on the bench, Bryant in the game right now. Sean Rooks getting his first shot of floor time tonight. Misses the jumper. Again, the Grizzlies strong on the glass, and here's Bibby. Reeves with a new man on him in Rooks. And Rooks got the body on him.
Now, Brian Reeves started the ball game outside, facing the basket, took 3 or 4 jump shots, but now he's gone down into the post and starting to establish an inside game, drawing fouls, posting up, and he's playing as though he wants the basketball down there.
Well, Brian Hill has shown him that if he works hard in practice and plays well in the games, he's going to get more minutes. And Big Country is so important to the future of the Grizzlies. They've got a superstar in Sharif Abdur-Rahim as O'Neal checks back in. Perhaps a budding star at the point in Mike Bibby, but they need Brian Reeves to contribute as well. They've signed him for 6 years and $60 million. They need him to be one of the upper echelon centers in the NBA.
Well, he needs to improve his footwork, and that'll help both his offense and his defensive game.
Grizzlies by 5, nearing the 2-minute mark for the second quarter. O'Neal, and before the shot, there's a foul.
And there's a situation where Shaquille O'Neal just felt that he was isolated down in the low post against Big Country. He just threw himself right at the basket. Watch O'Neal here. He's got a one-on-one situation. He just bounces the ball. He wants to go right through and split the help defense and creates contact against Brian Reeves.
Reeves wanting to know exactly what he did wrong. It's his third. He picked up 2 very early in the first quarter and has played pretty well to avoid picking up the third. But Brian Hill, wanting to take no chances with just 2:09 to play in the half, will take Reeves out and bring Tony Massenberg back in to defend Shaq.
And Massenberg can't afford to allow Shaq to set up in the low post. Massenberg has to take that position first and force Shaq up the lane because he really has a size advantage against Massenberg.
A rare 2 of 2 from the line for O'Neal brings the Lakers back within 3 points. Abdur-Rahim winning the matchup with Kobe Bryant to this point. 7 on the shot clock. A lot of dribbling by Sharif, and finally a turnover. You could see that one coming. Harper at the other end waits for Bibby to blow by, and it finishes, and LA's back within 1. Lakers are just deadly in transition with that long look ahead.
Well, they love to throw over the top of you, and they love to run people out early from their defensive end of the court. And the reason they can do that is they have such control of the backboards, especially when Shaquille O'Neal is in the ballgame.
Brian Hill wants another timeout with 1:34 to play in the first half, and the Grizzlies clinging to a 1-point lead. A game in which the Lakers again have not played as well as you would think they should, given all of their abilities. Vancouver playing much better here tonight than they did against the Raptors on Sunday afternoon, especially on the glass, winning the rebounding margin right now against the Lakers after they were dominated on the glass by the Raptors on Sunday.
Well, Grizzlies can stay in the ball game if they have an opportunity to get easier shots and try to get some shots in transition. A couple of things they have to do is work harder on the defense, create some turnovers as this half ends and into the second half. And secondly, defensive field goal percentage. The Lakers have helped them out because they've shot very poorly. But if Vancouver intends to stay in this ball game and have an opportunity to win it, they got to come with more intensity.
And the Lakers are just 6-5 underachieving right now, the victims of a lot of hype and maybe some distractions as well. Coach Del Harris has seen this team play better. He knows there are a lot of outside factors at work.
Obviously, the rumors of Rodman coming or not coming, so that means somebody's going. Jones and Campbell going, somebody else coming. And then we've had Robert Horry only be able to play about 3 games. And Rick Fox was hurt the first part. Shaq missed a game. Knight has missed. You know, so it's just been one thing and then another. And
all of those factors valid, but the LA fans and the LA media expect a championship this year from the Lakers, with Michael Jordan now riding off into the sunset. And again, if you missed it earlier, the word out on the West Coast is that Dennis Rodman may sign with the Lakers by the end of the night and end that soap opera. Of course, it'll only begin another soap opera when he gets to LA. And if Rodman joins Bryant and O'Neal and the rest of the Lakers, there is sure to be another trade, because the Lakers will have too many players at the big forward spot, too many rebounders, and not enough other things. And Eddie Jones, one of the players rumored to be involved in a trade. And it's a team with poor chemistry now. They are risking making it even worse by adding Rodman. But right now the Lakers seem a little bit desperate, even though it's only 11 games into the season.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dan. I think desperate is a good word, because there is an awful lot of pressure on the organization to make something happen and make it happen now.
Well, Kobe Bryant making it happen now by spinning on Bibby and finishing as well. You just can't let the Lakers get out in the open floor.
Kobe Bryant and Eddie Jones both like to run out on top. Look at Bryant here. He's way out in front. Smooth spin move right up on the glass. Nice bank shot. Good fundamental execution. Look at him get the ball down, establish the pivot foot, spin, and up on the glass. Using the glass on that move is a key because you feel a weak side defender coming. You get it up on the glass. You get the rim to help you in terms of getting the shot blocked.
Bryant trying to give the Lakers the lead and will not. Tied at 37. Late second quarter. Abdur-Rahim with a Bryant on him. Here comes the double team. Who's open? And a push. It'll be Rick Fox called for the foul. He's been one of the most outspoken Lakers about the state of the team. He was interviewed just a few days ago and was asked if the team's any better than they were last year, and all he said was nope. And he was asked if he's upset about that, and all he said was yep. Then he walked away, and that was the extent of it. There's a little controversy around this team right now.
Well, of course, Rick Fox himself got injured early in the year, and I think expected that he would play in that small forward spot. And what happened, of course, is Del Harris inserted Kobe Bryant into the lineup, and the kid exploded, playing sensationally, averaging 20 points a game, almost 10 rebounds a game, 9 and change on the boards, and you know, you have to expect that that's a spot that he intends to hold on to. So now Rick Fox has got to be thinking, geez, I picked an inopportune time to get injured because I may not get an opportunity to get my minutes back.
Fox passed up the jumper and instead fed O'Neal for an easy look. What kept Fox on the sidelines the first 3 games were a sore foot caused by ill-fitting orthotics. I mean, of all the things to knock you out and prevent you from possibly ever getting your starting spot back. Sharif working on Fox and a contact inside. It's Fox again, and it'll be number 4 on Rick Fox, who's only played 8 minutes in this game. Been a frustrating year for him, both in terms of the way the Lakers as a team have played and in the way he himself has played.
Well, if you watch Rick Fox and how the things he said and the things he's done throughout his career, I think in this Laker organization when he came over, he perceived himself to have the ability to participate in leadership roles. But that's very difficult to do if he finds himself injured as he did, and now that he comes back, he finds himself on the bench.
Sean Rooks falling over the end line and got the timeout called in time. The 22nd timeout taken by the Lakers as they couldn't get the ball in. Just a team that is obviously not clicking on all cylinders, and with so many teams in the West playing well right now, and it's a short season, they better get going in a hurry.
Well, you know, when you talk to Del Harris, he talks about the youth of this team, but let's not forget last year, Nick Van Exel at the point. Although there was conflict at times and flare-ups at times between Van Exel and Del Harris, the fact is Van Exel left, Derek Fisher took over and played at the point. Won 22 games and lost 3, played very well. But they lost 4 in a row to Utah in the playoffs.
Scott Tournament of Hearts continues tomorrow on TSN with 3 draws. Nova Scotia leads with Colleen Jones. Coverage begins at 9 in the morning Eastern time and continues right through the afternoon and the evening tomorrow on TSN. Inbounded to Shaq. Final minute of the first half, tied at 39. Bryant with a nice shake on Abdur-Rahim underneath for Rooks. Tough catch. Partially blocked. Still battling for it underneath. He'll finally put it home.
And that's where, with this lineup in the ball game, the Grizzlies just don't have the size to battle on the boards in that kind of a loose ball situation.
Just about a 3-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Doug West gets an open look, though, so he'll take it to tie the game again. And now the Lakers can hold for the final shot of the half.
And the Grizzlies have pretty well taken paint real estate anytime they wanted to in the second quarter.
Bryant elevates, leaves it short. 3 seconds. Bibby will have to put one up. Nice effort by Mike Bibby. They won't fall for them, but at the end of the first half, the Vancouver Grizzlies acquitting themselves pretty well against one of the most talented teams in the NBA and the LA Lakers. Del Harris and company struggling again. It's tied at 41-41. Sharif Abdur-Rahim with a game-high 15. We'll be back with stats and highlights, second half and more. But first, back to the studio, James Duthie.
Thank you very much, Dan. The thing of
Lakers, who, Brian, continue to struggle here in the early going in this season. But more than just the Lakers struggling, the Grizzlies are obviously playing better than they did Sunday in Toronto, especially Mike Bibby. He had a good first half.
Well, he's played with a lot of poise. He's had to match up against, of course, Derek Harper at the start of the game, and then Derek Fisher, two guys that are tough to handle. Here you see Bibby very poised, looks at the cutter right here on a nice bounce pass. Sharif Abdur-Rahim takes on Eldon Campbell, creates the contact, and a beautiful leaner makes the shot, and then goes to the foul line and converts. Here, time's running out, and look at Bibby. Presence of mind to get in between the Laker defenders and launches a one-handed push shot and buries it for two. On the other end of the court, woes for Kobe Bryant, only 7 points at the half. Look at Kobe here, nice pull-up move, but this has been a story of his half right here, clang right off the backboard. But look at the position, Bryant Reeves on Eldon Campbell. Defensive rebounding, they've held their own.
Grizzlies winning the battle of the boards right now with more rebounds in the first half tonight than they had in the entire game Sunday against the Toronto Raptors. For more on the first half and a look ahead to the second, let's go to Dave Randolph with Brian Hill.
Coach Hill, we got a game here at the half. You were out rebounding the Lakers. You got to love that. This is a huge turnaround from your performance in Toronto. What has your team done well in the first half in your eyes?
Well, I think we've had good defensive energy, although we've missed a lot of our double teams against Shaquille down inside. We've had some confusion there. I don't like the way we're shooting the ball, 29%, but we're winning the free throw game. We're winning the rebounding game. We have to continue to do those things this half, but we have to execute much better against their little half-court trap.
Good luck. Should be a fun second half.
Thanks, Dave.
Dave, thank you very much. Getting set for the second half in a tie. There is more Laker news developing, as we've alluded to a couple of times over the course of the first half. The Associated Press is now reporting that Dennis Rodman has indeed signed a one-year deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. Rodman, of course, had a somewhat bizarre press conference in Beverly Hills yesterday where his answers contradicted one another. He was angry, he was sad, he was crying, he was happy, he was a lot of different emotions. But it appears that Del Harris is going to have yet another character to deal with in Dennis Rodman, beginning perhaps as early as Thursday against the Clippers. And again, if Rodman comes, there is undoubtedly going to be a trade to balance this team a little bit more. The Lakers are really tinkering here.
Well, they are tinkering, and emotions is a key word, and not only in Dennis Rodman's press conference, but can he bring the kind of emotion to this team that they apparently lack on the floor here tonight? It's a Laker team that's not playing right now with any degree of passion.
Rodman's agent, by the way, will neither confirm nor deny the signing. What possible reason this could be as lengthy as it is known only to Rodman and Jerry West of the Los Angeles Lakers, but it continues to drag on at this point as the second half is underway. And a 3-second violation against the Grizzlies. Amazing that Vancouver is tied with the Lakers, having shot only 30% in the first half.
But what they've done is they've gotten more offensive rebounds than the Lakers. They've committed fewer turnovers, and they've made more points at the free throw line. You win those three categories, generally you're in the ball game or in the lead.
And Shaq is tied up and held as he tries to get up and going. Sharif Abdur-Rahim, the high scorer in the first half in the game with 15 points, averaging better than 24 a game. We have two of the top 4 scorers in the NBA in this game, and Abdur-Rahim was 4th, and Shaq at the line, who is 1st. Foul was on to Michael Smith as Shaq misses the first.
You know, even with Michael Jordan, as great as he was, winning a scoring championship, if Shaquille O'Neal could simply improve his foul shooting, or you look back, if he had made 70% of his foul shots, he would have been the leading scorer in the NBA, even with Jordan on the court.
He gets to the line about 10 times a night, but he only hits 5 or 6 of them. Wide open in the corner, Sam Mack misses the 3. There's been only one successful three-pointer in the entire game, and Mack had it. Now Harper's left wide open. He'll step in and make it a long 2. Michael Smith out-battles Travis Knight for the rebound.
One of the things that the Los Angeles Lakers lack is a consistent long-range jump shooter. there really is not one on the roster, and they suffer from it on a night like this.
Sharif, and from behind, Shaquille O'Neal with a good help defense. And here comes a 325-pound guy leading the break. It's Kobe for the finish.
Very nice team play there. Everybody giving the basketball up and everybody running in transition. A great example of a fast break not being able to be completed with the first 3 guys down. They brought the trailer into play. Everybody's got to run in transition if you're going to be an excellent team.
And a great example of the extraordinary athletic ability of Shaq, who now takes it away from Country. Shaq is more than just a power guy. He's very athletic, unusually athletic for a guy his size.
Showed a bit of quick hands right there. Big Country just exposed the basketball, and Shaq just flicked it away.
Out of bounds, still Laker ball. He's looking for the foul that wasn't called. He's had that look on his face a lot over the last couple of days. And Brian Hale wants a quick 20-second timeout. Not happy at all with the way the Grizzlies have started the second half. Hard to blame them. They didn't execute at all at the offensive end on either trip.
Well, when you come out of the locker room and you are at home and you've been able to benefit from a poor Laker first half and you've hung in the ballgame, you want to take advantage of the opportunity to regroup, come out, play with some energy, and get some things done. Execute well. Try to give yourself a cushion going into the third quarter.
As we mentioned, it's been a sloppy offensive night with neither team shooting well, especially the Grizzlies, who now with a cold start to the second half have dropped into the 20s. The Lakers at only 38%. These are 2 of the higher scoring teams in the NBA. The Lakers are second and Vancouver is 7th, but not tonight. Bryant finds Eddie Jones in the corner. He had a fast start in this game, and there's a hold. Call comes a little bit late. Reeves doesn't like it at all.
See, Bryant Reeves just gets caught on Shaquille O'Neal's back and both of Shaquille's feet inside the blue paint area. That's just too deep. He's too powerful. He's too skilled and too talented. You look down inside, Bryant Reeves just helpless. Shaquille just turns around, tried to go right to the rim, and creates a contact.
Number 4 on Reeves. You can see how the game can occasionally be very frustrating for Shaquille O'Neal. He is held and grabbed more than any player in the game.
Well, he could probably solve that a little bit if he could solve the mystery and the riddle of how do you improve your free throw percentage. As great a scorer as he is, he also has the unique statistic of having a higher field goal percentage throughout his career than foul shooting percentage.
Lakers with the first 5 points of the second half. Reeves to the bench with his 4th foul, and again Tony Massenberg at 6'9", asked to handle Shaquille O'Neal at 7'1". Took it in for Sharif. O'Neal the double team. Got a hand on the ball. Massenberg with a great look to Michael Smith.
Tony Massenberg, great presence of mind there. He sensed the double team forming up around him and knew that the help defender had to come from somewhere.
Bryant looking for his jumper. Still can't find it. Bibby a look ahead for Sharif. And no, it won't go down for Sharif. Got halfway down and bounced back out, and now Harper the other way. Again, the immediate double team. Good recovery again by the Grizzlies, forcing the Lakers to swing it back and forth. Kobe for 3. He is not close tonight with his jumper. O'Neal gives the Lakers a fresh 24. O'Neal in tight and held again. You can see how desperately he just wants to get up and dunk the ball.
Yeah, he does. He wants to find a clear path to the basket, and every time he moves, there's been help defenders or people dropping down trying to cover him off. Here you see go over the top to Shaquille. He felt he had a clear path to the basket, but Sam Mack comes back inside and reaches and grabs him on the forearm.
Not sure where Tony Massenberg was on that play. Shaquille was standing 2 feet from the basket all alone.
I think Massenberg got around in front, and that's one of the problems. Because of Shaquille O'Neal's size, if you try to front him, and in fact totally front him, they're just going to throw the lob to him. So he causes problems, and you've got to get some help down in the block. If Shaquille touches the basketball, you've simply got to get 2 men. If you isolate on him, he'll destroy you.
Shaq making them pay from the line tonight, 9 of 12. The foul was committed by Mack, his 4th, and he has joined Big Country on the bench. Doug West in for him. So some foul problems for the Grizzlies here early in the third quarter. West, Massenberg, Smith, Abdur-Rahim, and Bibby on the floor for Vancouver. And a timeout taken by West, who couldn't get the ball in. Not a great start to the second half for the Grizzlies. We'll step aside with 8:49 to play, and Brian Hill concerned with Vancouver now down to 5 to the Lakers. For tonight's game between the Lakers and the Grizzlies, LA leading by 5. The next game on TSN is a week from tonight at 8 Eastern. A real rugged battle out of the Eastern Conference. Two teams who don't like each other at all. The New York Knicks and the Miami Heat a week from tonight here on TSN. With the schedule condensed and every team playing almost all of its games within its own conference, you can really see the difference in style between the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. The East more physical, generally lower scoring, a little bit more running and scoring out on the West.
And Pat Riley really focusing in on commanding presence on the defensive backboards. One shot, that's all you'll get when you play the Miami Heat. Get the rebound and then get down the court and execute offensively. Of course, defensively as well, when you're playing great defense and commanding the defensive boards, that's what's contributing to the Heat's early season success.
Shaq starting to get going here in the third quarter, getting to the line and hitting his free throws. He's got a game-high 17. And Los Angeles with a 5-point lead, and both Brian Reeves and Sam Mack on the bench with 4 fouls. Kept alive by Shaq. Comes out to Kobe, a little bit too fancy on the dribble, and he'll turn it over. Bibby, big three-pointer for the rookie from Arizona.
That's the kind of basket that will ignite a basketball team. They've been languishing and suffering ever since the half. Mike Bibby again exhibiting that quiet leadership.
Brings the Grizzlies back within 2. Pick and roll between Harper and Knight. Now Shaq, Harper, and the Lakers answer.
Now you got to be careful of Derek Harper because he's not a great outside shooter, but he can get into streaks, and if he gets into a streak after making a shot like that, then he can open up the score on it.
And one thing Shaquille O'Neal has done well tonight is pass the ball. He's got 4 assists, and he's using his teammates very well. Good position for Massenberg, down to 4 on the shot clock. Got it over O'Neal at least partially. Bryant the save. O'Neal looking for help. He finds Eddie Jones, who will put up a 3. And for the Lakers, their first 3-pointer of the night.
Now, Eddie Jones, if he starts to heat up as well, last year he was 6th in the NBA in 3-point shots. That is a shot that he can make.
Thought of primarily as a great defender. You're right. He's a nice third scoring option on this Laker team. O'Neal way out. Trapping Bibby. Abdur Rahim has it taken away by Shaq on his way to the bucket. And a personal foul has been called.
This is Shaq continues to exert that defensive presence here inside. Looks like a wide open basket. Shaq not only comes from behind, but he blocks it cleanly without the body.
And let me correct myself, not a personal foul. The ball off Shaq's hand, bouncing out of bounds. So the Grizzlies retain possession, and Tony Massenberg the finish to bring Vancouver back within 5.
Nice poise by Massenberg. Got his balance inside. Knew Shaq was around. Just gave him a head fake, tried to lift him, and then underneath him for the little bank shot. It would have done.
Grizzlies try to stay close with Reeves and back on the bench in foul trouble. Kobe into trouble, saved by Travis Knight, and it will drop. Kobe Bryant got bailed out by Knight a little bit there. He overhandled it into heavy traffic. Now Cherokee Parks, and Tony Massenberg jams again.
See, Shaq got caught very late. He was standing at half court. Massenberg went right to the block. Nobody to guard him.
Lakers by 5 midway through the third. Bryant will just keep putting it up, and he'll keep missing. A rough shooting night for Kobe Bryant, now 4 of 13. Bibby, Sharif. Tipped back up and in. Grizzlies very good on the offensive glass tonight against a bigger and a better rebounding team in the Lakers.
And Tony Massenberg can do the job offensively with this lineup. If they can hold themselves defensively, Massenberg is the kind of player who has made a contribution and can continue that.
7 points off the bench for Massenberg. And Vancouver hanging in. The Lakers continuing to struggle, leading Vancouver by only 3. To get some very veteran-like play, a lot of poise from rookie point guard Mike Bibby out of Arizona. 11 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists in tonight's game. Brian Hale knows how important Mike Bibby is to his team.
Number one, he's a natural point guard. He's never played any other position on the floor. Knows how to run a team and how to get the other 4 players involved in the game and stay within your system. And he's a remarkably composed player for a young player. He could score 10 points in a row or have 10 turnovers in a row, and you could never tell the difference in him facially or any expression that he makes. And I think he's been a big plus for our team. I think he's going to be a very fine player.
And it's really a credit to the Grizzlies that they had admitted last year very quickly Antonio Daniels didn't work out. They traded Daniels away to San Antonio, used a pick to get another point guard into Mike Bibby. A lot of teams would stay with the player from the previous year, refusing to admit that it just wasn't working out. But obviously Bibby's a better fit for this team.
Well, one of the reasons is that he's also a very unselfish player. There's no question about that at the point position. And I'm impressed for a rookie at this stage of the season. His assists to turnover ratio is pretty good. He's about 2.5 to 1 in terms of assists over turnovers. And taking care of the basketball is so important to a team that doesn't get a lot of easy shots. When you get a possession, you've got to hold on to it until you at least get a good shot.
Nice two-man game between Eddie Jones and Travis Knight, but it's Knight called for the offensive foul as Massenberg stood his ground.
Massenberg's having a real fine quarter here. He's doing the job on the boards. He's made some nice baskets. And here defensively, you see him inside. As Travis Knight rolls to the basket, Massenberg comes over and just waits on him, has position, and draws the charge.
Grizzlies can get within 1 or tie it with a 3-pointer this trip. Maybe they can make a move now with Shaquille O'Neal on the bench. Travis Knight and Eldon Campbell are the big men for the Lakers right now. Grizzlies wanted a fresh 24. Feeling that ball was kicked out of bounds, but the officials decide no, and it's a 14-second shot clock right now for Vancouver, which will tick down a little bit more as Eddie Jones knocks it into the backcourt. There he is again, just getting in the way.
The Lakers trying to pick up some intensity here on defense, moving hard into the passing lanes, create some steals, trying to get themselves in a rhythm where they can get into transition and get their fast break game going.
The few times they've been able to run, they've been very good at finishing here tonight. Grizzlies have to heat up in the half court, but here's a turnover by Bibby, stripped by Harper, off for Kobe. The follow no good, and Harper gets it back.
There's a lid on the basket for Kobe tonight. No matter what he does, outside, inside, follow-up, attempted dunk, the ball just won't drop.
Both Kobe Bryant and Sharif Abdur-Rahim are 4 of 15 from the floor. Campbell kicks it out to Eddie Jones. Cherokee Parks tips it off to Abdur-Rahim, and again the Grizzlies can make a move on the Lakers. Near steal again by Jones. West, yes, 1-point game. A 6-0 run for the Grizzlies, and West yakking a little bit with Eddie Jones back down the other way. Doug West, a guy who spent so many years with the Minnesota Timberwolves when they were just getting started. And as soon as they got good, he was traded to Vancouver. He was upset about it and spoke openly about how he wouldn't mind a trade. He's come through alcohol rehab in the last year as well, but he appears to have himself and have his life back together. And he's been a real contributor for the Grizzlies. Sharif with the spin, spins right into the double team. Chance for Vancouver to take the lead. 4 on the shot clock. Another steal for Eddie Jones. Harper's jumper is short. Rebound of Massenberg. Nobody close for the Lakers on the offensive glass. Bibby. And now Jones. It's a 3-on-2. Kobe Bryant. Finally, he says he gets one to stay down. It took a dunk to do it, and the Lakers lead by 3. Bibby brings it over the timeline. See how Vancouver responds to really the first real big-time play. Shaq hasn't had a dunk in this game, and that's the first for Bryant. Rahim over the double team brings Vancouver back within 1. He can tie it at the line.
Raheem realized he was isolated down in the low post. He wanted to take that match, go right to the rim. He sensed he had Kobe Bryant on his back, and right here, he backs in and then goes high and gets inside, getting the contact and the basket. Look here again, Sharif just going to the basket, realizing that down in the block, back to the basket, he can dominate Kobe Bryant.
Number 2 on Bryant. Sharif had hit only one of his last 9 field goals until that play. The free throw ties the game at 57. Sean Rooks into the game for the Lakers. Shaq still on the bench. Derek Fisher's replaced Derek Harper at the point. Bryant kicks it in for Campbell. Blocked by Massenberg. Saved by Sharif. Grizzlies, Bryant can take the lead.
And if they do, Tony Massenberg has had a big hand in this comeback.
And if they do, the roof will come off this place, and Del Harris may need a timeout. It'll be Massenberg. And the foul on the floor.
See, you can see the expectations of Vancouver when they're in the post position and Shaq is out of the game. They want to make the move. They believe they can play in the low post with the other players, but when Shaq's there, his presence is so intimidating, they'll wind up throwing the basketball out and play more from the perimeter.
Number 4 on Campbell. He remains in the game. Rick Fox back in for the Lakers. Fisher working hard, trying to deny Bibby the ball. 2.5 to play, third quarter. They were tied at the half. They're tied now. Cherokee Parks, and the Grizzlies take the lead.
Great move by Cherokee Parks. Had the open lane down, open path to the basket, right down the lane, goes right to the goal.
Lakers have scored only 2 points in the last 6 minutes. Rick Fox will try to change that. Well, the rebounds are the big story tonight.
The Lakers are just not playing with any confidence at all in each other or in themselves. They are not shooting the basketball well.
They had a good start to the second half, got up by as many as 5, but Vancouver answered. Doug West, 4-point lead.
And Doug West can establish himself as a shooter in that shooting guard position. That adds to the defensive presence on the court with Sam Mack on the bench, because Doug West, a better defensive player. If he starts lighting it up on the offensive side, that's a real plus.
O'Neal will check in at the next opportunity. A 13-2 run for Vancouver. Eddie Jones explodes to the hoop, but can't finish, and here come the Grizzlies again. Good patience by Vancouver, not forcing anything. Sharif inside is tied up. Everything going in Vancouver's way right now, and for the Lakers at 6-5, having lost each of the last 2 nights, what in the world can Del Harris do to turn this around? Well, there's one start right there. Bring the big guy back into the game.
Bring the big guy in, because he can't allow a player like Sharif Abdur-Rahim to isolate his defenders in the low post. He's just too quick on the baseline. Look at Sharif here. He moves high to his left shoulder and boom, drop steps, gets inside position. He's right on the glass. Rick Fox had no alternative other than to clutch and grab from behind, put him on the foul line.
Shaq is the high scorer for the Lakers with 17 points. He also has 7 rebounds. Is fatigue a factor for the Lakers right now, having played 3 games in 3 cities in 3 nights?
I think in the second half of 3 games, 3 cities, 3 nights, physical fatigue then does play a factor. But they also are a team, I think, with emotional or mental fatigue as well. There's been an awful lot of issues surrounding this basketball team, from the switch in point guards, not only from Nick Van Exel to Derek Fisher, but then Derek Harper's on the scene.
First dunk of the night for Shaq brings the Lakers back within 4.
Now, the Grizzlies have to recognize when Shaq comes back in the game, they've got to have 2 people on him in the low post.
Now Sharif Abdur-Rahim travels, and the Lakers with a chance to make a little run. Lakers undoubtedly suffering under the weight of their own expectations this year. They've really been anointed by the NBA as the next team. You look at the national television schedules in both countries, and the Lakers are all over it. I mean, they're the team that has been chosen as the successor to the Chicago Bulls, but early in the season they're not living up to the hype. Fisher baseline by DeJuan Wheat, and a foul.
Let's go back to the point guard situation again, Dan, and pull together with Nick Van Exel leaving town, Derek Fisher taking over, and then shooting so poorly in the first 7 games of the year, and then Derek Harper really being given the basketball. This is a team not only who has had a lot of issues surrounding them, but also they've had 3 different point guard leaders in less than 1 full NBA season. When you start to talk about a team who has expectations to win an NBA championship, you've got to have stability at your lead guard position, and the Lakers have not had that.
Fisher now coming off the bench with Derek Harper the starter the last 3 nights. Plus questions about whether one basketball is enough when Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal are on the floor at the same time. Eldon Campbell unhappy about his minutes. Rick Fox unhappy generally with the team's performance. The Dennis Rodman melodrama swirling around the team that apparently is going to culminate in Rodman signing tonight. Wheat pushing off on Fisher, trying to get free. Parks, tough shot. 6 points, 5 rebounds off the bench for Parks. And Vancouver back up 4. LA can hold for the final shot of the quarter. Jones, 5 seconds left. Fox steps back, looks in. It'll be Rooks. And the quarter comes to an end with the Vancouver Grizzlies holding a 4-point lead on the Los Angeles Lakers, and a standing ovation at GM Place. Everything going wrong for the Lakers. Grizzlies trying to pull off a monumental upset here at GM Place. 4th quarter coming up. First, TSN tonight. Grizzlies try to pull off the upset, much to the amazement and delight of their fans here at GM Place, leading the Lakers by 4. Not an offensive performance to write home about by either team, but the Grizzlies went 10 of 18 from the floor in the 3rd quarter to raise their field goal percentage to 38%. They are still winning the rebounding battle, one of the more amazing statistics in this game, and their bench, Brian, is outscoring the Laker bench 21-10. Another surprising statistic from this game. Guys like Doug West, Tony Massenberg, Cherokee Parks all contributing for the Vancouver Grizzlies here tonight.
And it's so important. We talked at the top of the show about the advantage that the Lakers would have in terms of depth and getting people in the ball game, and Massenberg, Parks, and Doug West have come up big with field goals and points.
Sharif, as usual, the high scorer, although he's just 5 of 16 from the floor. Shaquille O'Neal leads the Lakers with 19 points in this game. Brian Reeves back into the game along with Sam Mack, each of them with 4 fouls. O'Neal going to work on Reeves. Tough one. Rooks the follow, though, and the Lakers are back within 2.
So when Shaquille O'Neal bounces the basketball and pursues the glass through the paint, if you move to help to stop him, it opens up the lane for the offensive rebounding. Sean Rooks capitalizing on Shaquille's move to the basket.
DeJuan Weed giving Bibby a rest here to begin the 4th quarter. 3 bench players on the floor right now for Vancouver. Weed, Parks, and West. West just inside the 3-point line has been outstanding off the bench tonight, now with 10 points in the game.
Doug West coming back stronger game by game, starting to compete for that spot. He'd like to get an opportunity to earn more minutes. He's doing it here tonight.
Ryan Hill would love a little healthy competition for minutes on his team. Shaq dumps it down, Rooks the miss, and then a foul from behind. West's a guy who's been through the battles, a 10-year NBA veteran, and we saw very early tonight that he meant business, especially on the defensive end.
Shaquille O'Neal dumps it inside to Sean Rooks. Again, when you bring the double team, you've got to rotate down and make sure that nobody's left on the low post weak side.
Number 3 on West.
Shaquille, a pretty good passer inside. He's learned to accept the double team. Of course, he can see over the double team. He also has soft hands and a nice touch on the basketball. He's a pretty good passer as a postman.
Rooks in his 7th year out of the University of Arizona, the same school that produced Mike Bibby. Hits them both, and the Lakers back within 2. Reeves sets a screen to try and get Mack free, and Mack will go all the way to the bucket. Gets it back. Fresh 24 for Vancouver.
Nice job by Sam Mack keeping the basketball alive.
Nowhere to go here. Reeves, the baseline jumper. That is his shot when he's going well.
Down on the baseline, midway between the basket and the corner. That's Bryant Reeves' range.
Just his second field goal of the night. Now a block on Derek Fisher, and the Grizzlies with a chance to run. 3-on-1.
Doug West calling for the fans to stand up. He exploded. He knew DeJuan Wheat saw him coming, and he never broke stride.
It's the Grizzlies giving the Lakers a little bit of showtime here tonight, leading by 6 in the fourth quarter. West from Wheat. And a kick ball will give the Lakers a fresh shot clock. Not before we step aside for a timeout, with this place as noisy as it's been all night. Concern on the face of Del Harris, and with good reason, the way the Grizzlies are playing right now, leading LA by 6. Grizzlies lead the Lakers by 6 in a game that has bounced back into fourth time and time again. A great sequence for Vancouver just a minute ago, with Reeves hitting a baseline jumper, then a block shot, and then at the other end, DeJuan Wheat feeding Doug West for the big jam. And for the Lakers, the trouble continues. A loss at Seattle, that's one thing. An overtime loss at Denver last night, that's another. A loss to Vancouver tonight, and they officially would have hit rock bottom for them early in the season. They would drop to 6-6. They would have lost 3 in a row. Yeah, it's 3 games in 3 towns in 3 nights, but this team is supposed to contend for the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And you take a look at a loss to Denver, and then should it turn out to be a loss here tonight to Vancouver, those are 2 teams that clearly are not in the league with the Lakers, and that just goes to show you that there are problems inside of this organization, at least for the short term, that Del Harris has to get solved.
The Grizzlies have never beaten the Los Angeles Lakers. They thought they had a clean turnover there. And now Reeves and West and everybody else furious at the call. Rod Hill wants to know who did what, because it looked like a clean strip.
Look here at the pass. The call on Doug West, his hands, he throws them up.
Reeves down low, bodying up on Shaq, got the call. It'll be his 5th. With 9.5 minutes to play, and you know the Lakers are just going to pound it inside and try to get country out of the game.
Absolutely, and you can see right here at the substitution, Brian Hill going to hold Bryant Reeves out for a key moment, but it's very difficult when you get that 5th foul. You got to sit down, your sweat dries out a little bit. The big guy like Reeves, Brian Hill points out that he plays a lot better when he's warmed up and he's loose. So to bring him back in the game in the fourth quarter at a crucial time, it's going to take him usually some time to get back into rhythm.
Big job here for Tony Massenberg, having to cover Shaq, and now Sam Mack commits the foul. They're having a lot of touch calls both ways in this game. That'll be number 5 on Mack. So big trouble brewing early fourth quarter for Vancouver. With Mack having to guard Kobe Bryant, this could get interesting. Clear out for Kobe. And there's a push on Mack, and his night is finished.
Sam Mack needs to turn around and walk away. He doesn't want to get in a situation here in a tight ball game in the fourth quarter where he incites a technical foul call here. See Kobe establishing contact, making contact. The whistle goes. Sam Mack.
He leaves with only 3 points on the night, averaging better than 17 per game. Doug West will replace him, and West has actually been the better player of the 2 at the 2-guard spot tonight. Grizzlies have already committed 4 fouls in the first 3 minutes of this quarter. Now it's Bryant working on West, shoots over him. Rebound Abdur-Rahim. 9 rebounds for Sharif. Now gets a great screen from Massenberg at the other end, but O'Neal just picked the pocket of Sharif. Crowd wants to see the calls go both ways. Bryant again overhanded, and you can see how gifted he is, but at times he just tries to do too much.
Well, it's that youth and exuberance, a little bit too much, all wrapped into one right here. Tries to go through, really doesn't have a sense of where he wanted to finish up. He just wanted to go.
6-point lead for Vancouver. Bibby guarded by Fisher. Now Massenberg trying to take Shaq. Shoots over him. Hits the shot and a foul as well.
Tony Massenberg sensed that isolation. He knew that if he pursued the paint, he was going to get nowhere with Shaq, but he knows on the turnaround, he's got a nice soft touch down in that baseline. He stood Shaq up and shot right over him.
Tony Massenberg and Doug West, the unsung heroes of the night for the Grizzlies, both coming off the bench with outstanding performances. 3-point play for Massenberg, and the largest lead of the night for either team now belongs to the Grizzlies at 9. It has the makings of an awfully long flight back to Los Angeles for the Lakers if they can't pull this one out. Travis Knight on the feed from Shaq. Lakers back within 7. The good news for the Lakers is Robert Horry, who has missed the last 6 games with an irregular heartbeat, has been cleared to play as of Thursday. Other news, depending on how you look at it, good, bad, indifferent, is that Dennis Rodman is apparently going to sign with him tonight. Marks with a nice move, draws the foul on Travis Knight, but it's a Laker team in a bit of turmoil right now as they're in jeopardy of falling to the 500 mark.
I think when you see a team get into turmoil like this, it generally emanates from players not knowing where they stand. Am I going to be traded? Am I going to stay? Am I going to start? Am I going to sit the bench? Am I going to play the small forward position? Am I going to go to the 2-guard position? And I think all those questions are valid questions that are around this organization right now. You get players in indecision. They start to lose commitment. And then these kinds of things happen to an organization like the Lakers. So again, Del Harris has a lot to contend with. If Dennis Rodman is signed, then that's only the beginning, but there are more issues to be dealt with for them.
A 28-12 Vancouver run. The last 10.5 minutes has given the Grizzlies a 9-point lead with 7:40 to play, 4th quarter. Sam Mack is fouled out. Big Country Reeves on the bench with 5. Travis Knight in the game for the Lakers has 5. And the same goes for Rick Fox. Here's a strip. Boy, much better defensive intensity for the Grizzlies tonight. Great save by Massenberg, but Bibby, not the kind of play you wanted to make right there. Brian Hill would have loved a more patient offensive set.
Absolutely, and Bibby's been brilliant in terms of taking care of the basketball tonight.
O'Neal the easy finish. Shaq now with 21 points, high scorer in the game, averages better than 28. The 3 Grizzly wins this year have come at the expense of the Clippers twice and Dallas. They have not beaten a team anywhere near the caliber of LA. As Shaq has another block, 3-on-3 the other way. 6 blocks for O'Neal. Travis Knight is fouled. 6:40 to play, 4th quarter. Grizzlies trying to hang on with a 7-point advantage over the Lakers. This score is correct. The Vancouver Grizzlies, trying to beat the Lakers for the first time in a franchise history, have a 7-point lead. Lakers have won all 12 previous matchups between themselves and the Grizzlies, and last year won the 4 games by an average of nearly 15 points per game. But it's a much different story tonight as the Grizzlies have gotten great efforts off the bench from Tony Massenberg and Doug West, among others. They have done a terrific job on the glass, out-rebounding the Lakers 41-34, and they have done a good job on Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, both of whom have started scoring, but both of whom are under their averages right now. Sam Mack's out of the game, but Doug West is playing very well in his place. Kobe Bryant not shooting the ball well. Abdur-Rahim not shooting the ball well, but still with 20 points. Shaq doing very well from the line for him. And again, that's the big story right down at the bottom, the rebounding numbers.
You control the glass. You put yourself in a position to control the basketball game. What's key for the Grizzlies right here now at this stage of the ball game is they can't get turnover happy. They've got to take care of the basketball. And secondly, don't challenge Shaq one-on-one inside. They've got to try to move Shaq into situations where he has to defend a pick and roll, get him away from the basket, and then you can attack the rim.
Travis Knight hits a couple of free throws to bring Los Angeles back within 5. Plenty of time to go. Bibby's had a good night at the point for the Grizzlies. Abdur-Rahim trying to back down Rick Fox. Little jump hook, rattles falls out. Rebound Shaq. Everything but the finish for Sharif. Derek Harper has replaced Derek Fisher at the point for the Lakers. And Fox with some minutes here at the expense of Kobe Bryant. Jump hook, Shaquille too strong. Another rebound for Sharif. That's his 10th. And another double-double with 20 points to go with the 10 rebounds. Under 6 minutes to play. Eddie Jones got his hand in there again. It's still Vancouver ball, but you just can't put the ball anywhere near this guy.
He's got such long arms and such quick hands that he causes all sorts of problems on defense, whether he's principally guarding the basketball or helping out. Here Sharif goes to the basket, and you see Jones just reach in. He's got those extra inches on the arms, and he's digging the basketball out all the time. That's what makes him one of the best steals.
Shot clock will expire on the Grizzlies. Bibby got caught 25 feet away from the basket with 1 second left on the clock. Brian Hill knows the Grizzlies need to execute perfectly at the offensive end if they're going to get good looks.
Well, Vancouver has to get energized defensively here. Communicate, talk, let each other know where people are, and watch for Shaq in the low post. The Lakers will try to isolate him. Massenberg
working hard, but again giving up 50 or 60 pounds to O'Neal. There's the lob, and Cherokee Parks is called for the foul.
Cherokee Parks is an important part of defending Shaquille O'Neal because Massenberg sets up right in front of him completely. They're going to throw the lob over to short of Massenberg, so Parks has to be drawn into the defensive help.
And you can see the strategy once Shaq catches the ball down low. There's no illusion about blocking the shot. You just hit him as hard as you can and hope he doesn't finish, so he'll go to the line for 2.
He shot remarkably well at the line tonight for him. But it's important that you shoot well down the stretch of the game.
Sometimes he makes it look easy at the line, and other times you can't buy one. He had made 5 straight until that miss. Misses both, gets it back. Harper's wide open on the wing. Rebound Sharif. Game high 11 rebounds for Abdur-Rahim. Grizzlies lead has been shaved from 9 down to 5. Back up to 7. Doug West continues to shine. He's got 14.
He's got fire in his eyes, Doug West. He wants the basketball. He believes he can make it.
He had fire in his eyes the moment he stepped on the floor midway through the first quarter. Eddie Jones with a 3-point attempt, and a big shot for LA brings him back within 4. Eddie Jones picking up where O'Neal and Bryant have left off a little bit tonight. Brian Hill's spoken a lot about the poise of the rookie Bibby. We'll see that down the stretch. There's some.
That was a great play by Mike Bibby, splitting the defensive double right inside. 3 purple shirts, pulls up and makes an important basket.
13 points and 8 assists for Mike Bibby. Fox swings it over to Jones. He's the hot hand. Not this time. Rebound Eldon Campbell. O'Neal just now getting up and back into the play as Fox misses and Massenberg clears. And the Lakers a little bit slow getting back defensively. Some of them look tired, and with good reason, playing their 3rd game in 3 nights. Something the Grizzlies will do for the first time next week. What a screen by Cherokee Parks on Harper, but he's called for a foul.
He wasn't there in time.
And now Parks with words for Harper.
Cherokee Parks gets here a little late. He's coming up to set the screen. He just moves in with Derek Harper. Harper had no room, a blind screen. You got to be totally stopped.
Parks still hollering out at Derek Harper as Harper comes down the floor. And now Bibby gets flattened, and the crowd wants the call to go the other way. Instead, Shaq powers his way to the basket and draws the foul. As you say, it's not how hard you're hit in the screen that determines whether or not it's a foul. It's how you're standing, how early you get there. Are you leaning or are you upright? It's all about position. Back to the line is Shaq. He's now missed 3 in a row after making his previous 5.
See Kobe Bryant go up in a situation like Shaquille O'Neal. I suppose players feel all you can do is encourage him that he'll make the next one.
And it works here. 5-point game. In the quarter, Brian, the Grizzlies have been whistled for 8 fouls and the Lakers only 2. As Brian Reeves with 5 fouls heads over to the scorer's table. He'll come back in at the next whistle. West. What a night for Doug West.
Very nice move. Little pump fake, stood the defender up, by him right into the elbow, pulled up and drains it. Big basket for Doug West.
A guy who spoke openly about perhaps not wanting to be here is playing like he really does want to play here. He just might be the best Grizzly on the floor tonight. And great effort by Vancouver. Abdur-Rahim hitting the floor for the loose ball. Bibby will use a little clock. Under 3 minutes to play in a 7-point Vancouver lead. Stripped by Jones. What a defender this guy is.
Mike Bibby will learn from that. He'll learn from that. He has the presence of mind as a point guard that's something he won't forget. He went into Eddie Jones's zone and it cost him.
4th steal for Jones. 5-point game. And a timeout with 2:29 to play. Can the Grizzlies hang on? The inevitable one last run is coming from the Lakers. It's a 5-point game at GM Place. A 2-game losing streak. Grizzlies try to snap a 3-game losing streak. And a move to 4-6 on the season. A loss for Los Angeles would drop them to 500. It's the first sellout at GM Place here this season. They came to see Shaq at a Kobe, but they're enjoying the way the Grizzlies are competing here tonight.
They are. You get the building filled. The Grizzlies play like this, it'll fill many more times in this season.
Foul trouble for the Lakers. Rick Fox and Travis Knight each with 5. Vancouver in a little more serious difficulty with Sam Mack already having fouled out of the game. Although the way his replacement Doug West has played, it's not that big of an issue. Brian Reeves has been in and out of foul trouble all night long, and he is playing with 5 fouls as well. A 5-point lead for Vancouver with 2:29 to play. We talked earlier about the superior depth for the LA Lakers. I don't think anybody would dispute that, except maybe those watching the game tonight, because the Vancouver bench, led by Doug West and assisted by Tony Massenberg and Cherokee Parks, has routed the Laker bench here tonight.
They've done a remarkable job, and they've played within themselves and within the team concept. They haven't tried to do things that they're not capable of doing. They've all played a role, and Mike Bibby really has been the orchestrator of this offense and to position people to play well in the positions that they're manning.
And the ball in the hands of Bibby, who has already played 38 minutes in this game. Foul goes against the Lakers. Kobe Bryant picks it up, and a bit of a Bronx cheer from the crowd here, which has seen almost all the calls go against Vancouver in the 4th quarter. Now Vancouver turns it over. 4th turnover of the night committed by Bibby. 2-man game with Bryant and O'Neal. Now unguarded underneath is Eldon Campbell, and another great job by Shaquille O'Neal to pass out of the double team down low. He has 6, now 7 assists on the night.
See, if that help defender comes from the low post, O'Neal will make you pay the price. You've got to get help from another area of the floor, but not off the low post.
It's the only thing really the Grizzlies worked on at shoot around today. Reeves doesn't get the shot off in time, but he finds Abdur-Rahim, who does.
It's a great shot by Sharif Abdur-Rahim. He comes into that low post as good as it gets with your back to the basket. He just believes when he turns left shoulder in, he can make that half-hook shot. Take a look at him here. And he knows Shaquille is around, but he gets arc on the basketball, buries it out, and then takes the hit.
22 points for Abdur-Rahim. 10 of 12 from the line tonight to make it 11 of 13, and Vancouver's lead is back to 6. O'Neal. And a goaltend is called on Abdur-Rahim. Count the basket for Shaq. 4-point game.
Sharif wants Shaq to know he's around. Here Shaq turns and lets it go on its way down, but Sharif says, not in my house.
Shaq with 24. Can the Grizzlies show some patience and some poise and get a good look here as we near the 1-minute mark of the fourth quarter? Vancouver leading by 4. Reeves a long jumper. Abdur-Rahim out-battles Kobe Bryant for the rebound, and a foul has been called on the Lakers.
Move to the basket when Bryant Reeves shoots. An instinct that Sharif Abdur-Rahim has. He finds the opening on the baseline. Reeves shoots. Instead of standing and watching, here comes Rahim off the weak side, goes up, grabs the basketball, and then pumps his fist as he absorbs the foul.
We've seen emotion from Sam Mack and from Sharif Abdur-Rahim and Doug West. A team that was lifeless on Sunday against Toronto has somehow had some sense knocked into them by Brian Hill over the last 48 hours.
And Sharif is such an excellent foul shooter. When you establish a game down low and you create contact as he does and can shoot the fouls,
sure,
it pays big dividends.
Timeout, Lakers. Have a 20-second timeout as well. Sam Mack is fouled out for Vancouver. Brian Reeves and Cherokee Parks each playing with 5. For the Lakers, Rick Fox and Travis Knight each have 5, but neither one was on the floor during the last possession. Mike Bibby has been very good here tonight, very poised, and one of the big reasons why the Grizzlies are on the verge of snapping a real drought against the Lakers. They have never defeated them. Took them to overtime once 2 years ago, but they have never beaten the Los Angeles Lakers in 12 tries.
And Brian Hill talked about the level and even temperament of Mike Bibby for such a young player. He ran this ball club as if he had no idea at all about the significance potentially of this win tonight against an organization like the Los Angeles Lakers. Played like a 10-year veteran.
Harper to inbound it. Can't get it in, forced to burn another timeout. The Lakers will have only one remaining. Boy, it is odd to watch a team with this much ability struggle so badly in so many different areas of the game right now. They are just playing like 5 individuals out there at times instead of one unit.
And they become more individualistic when they get into a crunch situation. It's as if they don't know how to dig out of that. So each one of them, and at different times, all of them try to take things into their own hand.
Del Harris on the hot seat, according to many. Dennis Rodman reportedly on the verge of signing tonight. The Associated Press has already reported that Rodman has signed, although that has not been confirmed by the team. Maybe another trade brewing. There's been talk of Glenn Rice coming, although he's injured right now. Maybe to trade away Eldon Campbell. Eddie Jones' name has been mentioned. And look at this. Eddie Jones went left. Derek Harper passed right, and the Lakers turned the ball over again.
And here's miscommunication right here. Eddie Jones moves down. Derek Harper just throws the basketball thinking that he was going to move to half court and remain. Doug West has done a good job on Eddie Jones off the ball. He's pressured the passing lanes, gotten over the double screens.
Into the hands of Bibby. Not a bad night for a guy who wasn't even supposed to be a starter at the beginning of the season, only got the job because of an injury to Lee Mayberry. Bibby's been one of the best rookies in the league. A foul will send Abdur-Rahim to the line again. Kobe Bryant. Number 5 on Kobe. It's been a very frustrating night for Bryant. Just 11 points, 10 below his average. And Abdur-Rahim pretty close to automatic right now. 14 of 16 from the line. He has scored Vancouver's last 6 points. Lakers are all but done now with under a minute to play, and Vancouver leading by 8. Grizzlies on the verge of a major upset. 50 seconds to go. Dolman and Brian Heaney with you. It's an 89-81 lead for the Grizzlies. Arthur Griffiths, the original owner of the Vancouver Grizzlies and still a member of their board of directors. One of the many here in the sellout crowd at GM Place, enthusiastically welcoming the Grizzlies back to the court with under a minute to play. What a night, what a second half, really, for Sharif Abdur-Rahim, who has just taken over this game. Doug West outstanding off the bench in a very fine all-around performance by rookie Mike Bibby. Vancouver bench has been very good. They have 9 more rebounds than the Lakers have, and they've done a good job on Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant.
And how much credit has to go to Brian Hill for the way he's handled this basketball team at this stage of the season.
Derek Harper misses a desperation 3. Sharif wraps up the rebound and is fouled again. One more time, the Grizzlies will walk the floor and send their best free throw shooter to the line. Travis Knight commits the foul, and he's out of the game.
Going back to Brian Hill, he responded to some disappointing losses and a disappointing effort in Toronto as they open the new Air Canada Center. Comes back and the team goes into film breakdown. They spend a great deal of time watching where the mistakes were made on the court, giving the players the visual image of what had to be corrected. Then patience came out methodically, took them through and walkthroughs and run-throughs in preparation for this basketball game, always looking toward the future, always encouraging, and always keeping the expectation level very high, not accepting poor performance and not accepting mediocrity. He has excellent leadership skills, and it's one of the things he brought to town when he came as the head coach.
Felipe Lopez, rookie out of St. John's University, comes in for the first time as Brian Reeves. No, now making Tony Massenberg comes out. Big men not sure who was leaving. Lopez, the consensus best high school player in the country, heading into St. John's, had a good but not outstanding college career. As Abdur-Rahim misses the second, but Felipe Lopez sticks with the Grizzlies as an extra guard. Kobe Bryant for 3. Kept alive by Eddie Jones, but knocked away by West. Back into the hands of Kobe. Another 3. Boy, it's been a long night for Bryant, and now some frustration with O'Neal as he has words with Big Country.
Yeah, there's frustration there. Shaquille O'Neal swinging those elbows. You want to get out of the way when those start moving around. Good look at Big Country Reeves inside, and Shaquille O'Neal laying the body on him. Shaquille goes up. The ball is late getting down. Watch the swing of the elbows right here. Boom! And he connected on Big Country. That's one powerful man.
It is Brian Reeves who is called for the foul. And that's number 6 on a Big Country. Still hollering. There's been a lot of hollering going on tonight, but I'm sure Brian Hill doesn't really mind that. He'll take a motion of any kind from this team. Hearing it from the crowd, Shaquille O'Neal steps back to the line. Brian Hill told us earlier today, I really want the team to play well. The bonus would be winning. Well, looks like he's gotten everything he wished for. A 7-point lead, 28 seconds to play. Lopez fouled by Fox, and the rookie will have a chance to get into the score sheet here.
Brian Hill is really animated, very involved in his basketball game on the sideline right now. He can really taste victory within his grasp.
These final minutes, though, go oh so slowly when you're the coach in the lead. Rick Fox is fouled out. Frustrating night for him. 20 minutes, he did not score. You can see what he is feeling, the look on his face. At the line, Lopez. We talked about some of the hype for him coming out of high school. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated before he ever played a single game in college. He knows all about the hype the Lakers are dealing with. He dealt with it individually for 4 years, but he's an outstanding young person and a very hard worker, and one of the guys you pull for, hoping that he can stick at the NBA level. Nice rebound by Lopez in traffic. Kobe Bryant 1 for his last 11 and 5 for 21 overall.
He just was not in this basketball game all night long. He couldn't get unraveled, never developed any rhythm in the game, and after a while his confidence just started to wane in terms of his ability to put the basketball in the hole tonight.
He averages 21 points. He's 10 below that. Shaq has gotten close to his average. He's at 26, averaging 28. Brian Hill said all morning long to his troops in the shoot-around, Shaq will get his points. He said just play smart, help out, use your heads, use your feet. O'Neal is done for the night. And Lopez getting a chance to pad his numbers. For the first time in franchise history, the Vancouver Grizzlies are going to defeat the Los Angeles Lakers after 12 previous defeats. And the Lakers, for some reason, continuing to foul, down 9 with only 5 seconds left. Vancouver needed a big one tonight. This is the beginning of a stretch that will see them play 10 games in 15 days, including a 3 in 3 days next week. They've got Houston and Phoenix coming up later on this week, so it's going to be tough throughout for the Grizzlies, but what a win this is for them.
It's an outstanding victory for an organization who continues to move in the right direction. And when you look at the opportunity they had to draft Mike Bibby, and they took him and made that commitment to a rookie point guard, you can see what the future looks like.
Lopez challenges the shot right at the buzzer, and that is it. The Grizzlies win it going away 93-83 to snap a 3-game losing streak and send the Lakers back to Los Angeles reeling and wondering about their future. What is wrong with them? Why have they lost 3 in a row? Is Dennis Rodman going to sign, and what direction are they heading in? For the Grizzlies, another outstanding performance by Abdur-Rahim with 28. Mike Bibby, 13 points and 8 rebounds. Great work by the bench, led by Doug West with 16. And the Grizzlies move to 4-6 with their first ever franchise win over the Los Angeles Lakers. For more, let's go to Dave Randor.
And we are with the franchise player. You snap a 3-game losing streak in style, getting your first ever win against the Lakers. How'd you guys turn around from Sunday, Sharif?
We really just didn't feel good with the effort that we came out with against the Raptors the other night. So we really wanted to come out tonight with a lot more energy, a lot more aggression. We knew, the Lakers were in a situation where, we could come in here and they was coming in here and we could get us a win.
You had a huge second half, especially the last 8 minutes. How'd you feel about that?
I just wanted to really step up, try to get some rebounds when they came to me in the clutch, get some buckets and, just help our team win. We